Sundaria or Sundaria, I don't know how to pronounce it, but to be honest with you, I am playing this for one very specific reason, and that is just to convince someone that this is a game that would be fantastic to play together, because this is a game that you play with friends. Up to 4 people if you would like. I personally just trying to get one person to play with me. Um, so you have 5 different character classes you can be. I'm going to be a wizard because being a wizard is awesome, but I also have a ranger, which is exactly what you would expect. It's a ranged. You have your champion, who's kind of like your up close and personal, knight or warrior class, and you have a cleric, which also can heal, and then you have a rogue. But I'm going to go with wizard. Going to enter into the world. When you start in this little village, and there's a bunch of different places that I can go to because I've been playing for a bit. But you can come here, you can buy different healing potions if you would like to. You can go to the guardhouse and talk to this guy to get some quests in the beginning. And you go to the blacksmith, you can upgrade some items, and you can also collect quests from the different locations here. Like this guy, he's gonna so occasionally you can change your hair if you would like. You can change your race if you would like to be something different. Uh, so your choices are you've got a nasty goblin, you've got an orc, you got a little halfling, an elf, a dwarf, or a human. But I'm not going to change my guy. I'm going to keep him how he is. And I'm going to just kind of jump right into things. But you also have the crypto horrors here. This is like the first place you go to. And then some of the other places that are now open. Now that we've kind of been in early access for quite some time, you have the Dread Forge, you have the Dark Hollow, Icy Depths, Grasslands, Festering Bog, and the Lair of the Serenids. I personally am just going to go to the Crypt of the Hollows, and you can kind of choose what level you want to be, which will kind of help you decide on things. You can do that with each of these locations. And this gives you a really good idea of what you should do first. Like the Crypt of Horrors, that's like the first place you should go to. You could probably go to the Grasslands next if you wanted to. Then you go over here, and etc. So you follow those instructions, and you go. But we're gonna do the Crypto Hollows. I'm just gonna do normal. Do a quick run through of the dungeon because this is exactly how it would start. So you have your skills, different magic. I have a fireball. I've got like some purple lasers. Another fireball. That is a healing thing. An explosive ball. Some sleepy dust. And last but not least, flamethrower hand. So you have a handful of variety of things that you can choose from. And if you want to change it, you just go to your inventory. Come over here, you got some character information. I'm level 5 and almost 5.5. I've got all my stats, my inventory items, my different abilities. I can change things if I would um, like if I want to put some things on Q and E, I can. Like this would make more sense there. I don't use a shield, so that doesn't help for me. Um, I don't really need to use a melee attack, uh, and everything else I have going. So let's go make the magic happen by going into this crypt and killing the crap out of things. And you can play this with up to 4 people, and you can play it locally co-op if you would like. So you don't have to play it separately. If that doesn't work, hook this up to your TV and just kind of play it from there. Um, and then we got some people out here, and it's like, oh, all right. Now, because I'm level 5, these guys are not going to really give me a lot of trouble. And if you like loot, this game has you covered. There is so much loot that you run into. It's almost insane. combat is not overly complex, but it's relatively simple, to be honest. But it's actually really enjoyable. It's very satisfying. Um, the dungeon is pretty cool. And obviously, there's so many other levels for you to experience. It entirely will depend on your playstyle. Me personally, I like to be a wizard, so I play as a wizard for like every opportunity that I have. Uh, but if you choose to play as the warrior class, you know, like that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The ranger, each of the classes kind of goes along with the other classes. So the more characters you're playing with, the more varied your attacks can be, and the combat. It all lends itself together, and there's not like one character class that's going to grossly outperform the other. So you don't have to worry about being a type of character class uh, that ends up being somebody that can't perform. So it doesn't matter what kind of character you are, you will be able to assist your teammates if you are playing with other people. And enemies can cast debuffs on you. They can also kill you with their magic. If you're not careful, you could easily get killed by these guys. Like, I'm not gonna get killed because I'm over leveling. I'm a little bit higher up in the level than I need to be for this, because I just want to show, the different parts of this that it could be. It's like, this could be a game to play with friends and family and just people in general. It's an enjoyable dungeon romp kind of game. If you want to play a dungeon game, this is a good choice. This is one of those games that you just jump in. You can play for 30 minutes. You can play for an hour. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. So the goal in this dungeon is I gotta find this guy and I gotta kill him. Which is actually kind of the goal in every dungeon or every level. You have to find this one overall monster guy. And in this case, it happens to be this guy over here who has the dogs and stuff. But he's pretty easy to kill. Mostly because I'm just kind of a badass right now. Depending on the level of the enemy, some things won't work. You can't use all your spells or everything on certain bosses because they're able to, take damage. They're able to basically shrug it off, I would say, is a better way of looking at it. Now that I have all this gear, I can go through here and I can look and see if there's anything that's better. All of my stats are gonna show. If it's red, it means it's worse. If it's green, it's gonna be better. Because I've got a lot of stuff that's, just not really the right level for me. I don't expect to find anything of value in here. But that's fine because I don't need it. I just like to go through because I enjoy running through here and doing this dungeon. So one thing that you'll notice is that there is no, even though I'm a wizard, there's no mana. You do not use... I mean, you're using magic, but there's no mana attached to it. Everything is cooldown base, which gives you a pretty good ability to play how you want. And certain spells take longer to cast, or longer to achieve whatever it is you're looking for. Every class has the ability to heal itself, which might make you think that you don't need the cleric, but I mean, technically you don't. But if somebody is playing as a cleric, it does allow the other person to kind of just focus on doing attacks and worry less about trying to stay alive, because they have the cleric and the cleric can heal them, and the cleric's also kind of fun to play. So this, the guy had the dogs. He's kind of like a mini boss. He's not really the main boss. So but there's a lot of other locations to go to, and I kind of feel like I should probably demonstrate some of the other ones. So if I want to go back to town because I've got like a full inventory or something, or I just don't want to be in the dungeon anymore because I want to go somewhere else, I just can go back to town and do that. Then I can come over here and be like, dude, I need to sell all of this stuff. And because I didn't get anything that I really needed, I will sell everything. Before moving on to the next location. Alright, don't need anything else. Gonna go ahead and leave here again. And here's where, I'm like, where do I go? Do I go here? That's a level 2 or 3. That's level 6. 7. 4. So I'm gonna go to the Dark Hollow, which I believe is level 2. So I'll head on over to the Dark Hollow, take a look at that, and I'll just kind of run through the different dungeon areas just to kind of show them off and say, like, hey, this is kind of what it looks like. Because once you kind of go in them, you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to see. Yeah, when magic works right, like I mean, when you're able to time things properly, it is really satisfying, and you can also basically overkill. Which is nice as well. Personally, I find the ranged enemies are the ranged combat is the best. But it is up to you on what you want to do. Personal preference and all that. I also have a quest which I didn't really read about because I'm not really too interested in right now, because again, I'm just going to run through the different dungeon locations to kind of show what there is and what to expect. Game runs great. Graphically, it is not the most beautiful thing you're going to see out there today, but it is varied as far as the locations. I mean, each location, once you get in it, kind of looks similar as you play. It's not really going to be very diverse. But before you worry about any of that stuff, just know that there are many locations for you to explore, and that kind of makes up for, the fact that some things look the same. I got into a little bit of a predicament. This is like my mini boss. And it looks like he's kind of glitched out. So this is gonna make this battle really easy. I'm the kind of player that I'm gonna take advantage of things like this because why not? So that's a little mini boss down, and you're just gonna run into like more of the same here. Uh, but each zone kind of has its own enemies that you're gonna run into, which is again great because it gives you like that level of variety when you play. So it's not gonna be too much of the same stuff each time. And I am just going to go back and sell my stuff. This is basically kind of the gameplay loop that you are going to experience. You're going to go, you're going to fight, kill some things, collect gear, and kind of decide on what you want to equip, what's better than what you have. And sometimes you're going to get, you know, the things that are going to be really great for your character, and sometimes not so much. And if you are playing with friends and you don't have the capability of using voice chat, you can just, you know, write. So they do have text chat. So the game's kind of inclusive in that nature. Every once in a while you still run into like some bug characters, but like none of it's that bad. Like everything runs pretty solid. Things are a good experience. Kind of surprised that I didn't actually get some better stuff, but I know I'm just doing like a little bit at a time here. I'm just gonna go in just a little bit of time to show you the kind of the other stuff. This is the spider lair area. I remember when this first came out, it was a pretty cool old location. Um, found the enemies pretty satisfying to kill. Remind me a little bit of Remnant from the Ashes with their Swamps of Corvos expansion, just kind of location-wise, not gameplay-wise. So I killed a couple of guys. I want to specifically see like the spider guys, but
Have you come to join our queen?
I
No?
guess
I
I
see
guess not.
then. I accept your decision. She always needs nourishment, which is quite unfortunate for you.
It's like a little story portion. Forgot that this happens. Now we get to go see the spiders. And here are our spiders. They are, you know, they did a really good job, I feel, on the spiders, because they look pretty cool. They are pretty cool to kill. I should point out that just because I am a wizard doesn't mean I have to play with a staff. If I wanted to, I could switch over to other weaponry, um, which I don't think I have. I have a bow. So if you wanted to see that, you would have to actually have your actual attack with it, because I don't run with the attack of my melee weapons or my weapons in general, because I'm using a staff and just use fireball because it makes more sense. And because you can be because you can have a debuff, you can have poison and things like that. This is where the cleric comes in handy. If I had a cleric with me, or if, you know, I wasn't playing by myself. By myself, eh, I'm good. Because I take it cautiously, I take it carefully. And I showed you some spiders. Go back to town. I didn't pick up enough stuff to worry about selling anything, so I'm just going to jump over here to the Festering Bog. I just want to finish this out by showing a couple of locations. So yeah, so Dungeons of Sundaria is definitely one of those games that is better with friends, but even as a person playing by themselves, if you're looking for a game that's just pretty much just a dungeon crawling adventure, this is a very good pick. I might die here. I mean, these guys are leveled up higher than me, so yeah, that made sense. So, but the cool thing is, if you died, it's super easy. You just respawn, you come back. It's not a big deal. You just go back and get your revenge and say, "You guys were mean to me," and, like, you know, just pick up these things and kind of go. So the bog is pretty cool. And then we also have, let's see, I did the Dark Hollow, the Pestering Bites later. Right, okay, so the Dreadforge, show that off and then show the other location, and that'll be a wrap. Dungeons of Sundaria. Dungeon crawling my way to happiness. I did the title of my video. It's cool. You got a dragon. So basically, as it progresses and you go through all these different locations, it does definitely ramp up in difficulty, but it also ramps up in these pretty cool effects that you're going to see. Like this. Like, this is cool. Like, right out here and be like, no, I don't want to run through the fire, because it will cause me some damage if I walk directly through the fire. I did that just to prove a point. Now, I'll get, like, completely destroyed if I actually go through here and try to fight anything. I had some characters, they were higher level, but, you know, I basically started over, and yeah. We got the Icy Depths as well. And as you can see, there's 3 different difficulty levels for each level, so you can always go back to it, and you can play a different one if you need. If you really have a favorite location, you just up the difficulty, go over to it, and, you know, kill as many things as you want, get the gear you want, get the experience level up, and enjoy yourself and have a good time. So we'll take on these guys. My fireball's a little bit out of reach. Should we all reach it right here? Yeah. So these summoners will summon people, and that can be kind of a bit on the dangerous side. So if you have if you have a character that has a type of like AoE or something that like kind of controls enemies a little bit, like it's not controlling them, but I can easily put these guys to sleep if everything goes well, and that would mean that I don't have to worry about it if I'm, got my other characters working on it. That and these guys aren't too tough. He just kind of snuck up on me. Yeah, there you go. There's this location. So that's a quick run through of all the locations that there are in the map. I'm pretty sure I don't think I missed anything. So they're all pretty cool to experience and go through. So Dungeons of Sundaria, if you're looking for a nice dungeon crawling co-op adventure, this is definitely one you should play. And if you like to play by yourself, it is also an excellent experience. This game is definitely a recommendation for me. Be safe out there if you're in the dungeons because they're dangerous. Don't touch electric fences. There's no electric fences in the game, but in real life, don't do that. I don't know, I just like saying stuff at the end that doesn't make any sense. That's it. Bye-bye.